Hakim. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, for allowing me to do another lesson. Yahweh is who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And there's no God beside them. I want to give double honor to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for being faithful witnesses to the Holy Spirit. And salutations to the elect, whom the Most High have given ears to hear. And I want to title this lesson, Called Out to be Called Out. Called out to be called out. And in part it comes by way of a lesson we did last night, the peculiar among the peculiar. All right. Speaking about the elect of the chosen nation. Right? Because the Lord chose one nation. 2 Ezra 6:54 tells us that. Of Adam come we all, and those whom he has chosen. But then you have those who are of Israel at this point in time. All right, that he called out of this world to hate this world. All right, he gave him a special mind state. He gave him a special sanctified spirit, which when you go into the word sanctified, like he told Jeremiah, like he told Isaiah, all right, is meaning holy or separate. You know, and I like in this walk of ours, like when you sit in a classroom and the teacher asks a question and he asked the question but nobody raised their hand for fear of, standing out. However, the teacher calls on a particular student because he noticed, how bright that student may be, and he wants to essentially make a spectacle of him. All right. Whereas his question gains the attention of his peers to that of ridicule. All right. They may laugh at him, and what is the teacher calling out, as it says, was that Psalms 90, who will stand up for me against the evildoers, against the workers of iniquity. All right. But with that comes ridicule. Like it tells us in Isaiah 59, it says, what's that? He that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. And okay, yeah, 59 and 15. I'll start at 14 though. All right. 13. In transgression and lying against Yahweh, and departing away from our God, speaking oppression and revolt, conceiving and uttering from the heart words of falsehood, and judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off, for truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. Yet truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. And Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. All right. So the elect is like that student who the teacher singles out. All right. Which he may be trying to fit in, you know what I'm saying? But the teacher singles him out because he knows he sees something special in him. All right. He's like the light among his, he's like the light in the class amongst his peers. The teacher turning his back, writing on the board, everybody else playing, but he's the only one paying attention. All right. He's studying, he's answering the questions right. But like I said, he might be a little shy to answer the question because he doesn't want to make himself essentially special. But the Lord made him special. The Lord gave the elect a mouth to speak. All right. The Lord put that fiery spirit in the elect to hate wickedness. Right. Essentially, the Lord made him a prey. And it says, And he saw that there was no man and wondered that there was no intercessor. Therefore his arm brought salvation unto him, and his righteousness it sustained him. All right. And essentially, he's going to be the one. He's essentially, all right, or at the end of the day, the teacher, all right, which in this case, of course, is Yahweh, by Yahweh Shai, is going to be the one to take up for him. He's going to be the one to take up for him and show that he's the head of the class. He's not the loser. Whereas the rest of this world looks at righteousness, the fact that you don't celebrate these holidays, the fact that you don't get shape-ups, the fact that you don't commemorate adultery, all right? The fact that you have standards, that's looked at as strange to the world. What's that saying, Peters? I think it's 1 Peter's, right? It's got to be. Yeah, 1 Peter's 4:4. I'll start at the top. For as much then as Yahweh shall have suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin, that he no longer shall live the rest of his life, live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of God. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua called us out of this world. And like Yahushua told his disciples, he said, do you light a candle and put it under a bushel? Do you not put it under the housetops? Do you not put it on the hill to light the world? That's what Yahweh is doing with his prophets. Did not he say, what is that, Jeremiah 3? That should give you prophets according to my heart, that shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. All right? I see potential in this guy. I'm going to use him to get the answer right. This is what I'm looking for. And essentially, the elect is this way because they have the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the holiest of the holy. All right? Yahweh Shai is the greatest alumni that ever went to this particular school. All right? If we continue with that analogy, it says, for the time past of our life, all right, of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, access of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries, goofing off, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same access of riots, speaking evil of you, who should give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead. All right? For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to God in the spirit. Right? So, you're essentially the teacher's pet. All right? To where, you're not only the head of the class, but you are the you are what's that word? I forgot what they call it, but like in college you have a person who, I guess they call it like a teacher student, which he's a student, but he's also a teacher. He's on another level. Fucking Salaki. I don't know what the fuck this is. Got a fucking fly in here. See. Nevertheless, let's go into Proverbs 3. Right? Because the scriptures say, Proverbs 3:11, my son, despise not the chastening of the Lord. All right, the Lord calling you out. Or for example, I'll even give another example in that situation to where, he'll call you out specifically and then he'll chew you out for getting the wrong answer. Meanwhile, someone else gets the wrong answer and it's like, whatever. You like, damn, why he do me like that? But best believe the next time he calls you for that particular for an answer, you got it right because you don't want to be embarrassed. All right. Never, so whatever the case, the Lord's saying that despise not the chastening, despise not his chastening. All right. What's it tell us in 1 Corinthians 11? He called us out of the world so that we should not be condemned with the world. All right. Hey, this world, these people is in a hard sleep. They're in a hard slumber. All this shit is happening in the world and they worried about only Labor Day. But so the Lord is going to have to do something extra special. He's going to have to make an extra special noise to wake them out of their sleep. All right? Which is going to be the shaking that comes by way of the nuclear missiles. All right? But we, which the Lord, he may have to teach, speak to us a certain kind of way. But he knows that we're going to get it. All right? The valedictorians of the class. All right? Actually, I'm going to look up that word, but let's read this. This is my son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. Than fine gold. Let's read that again. Happy is let's start at 11. My son, despise not the chastening of Yahweh. What you see in Lord in all caps, that's Yahweh. Neither be weary of his correction. Right? You may be called to ask a question, and you could look at it as far as the Lord putting some hell on you because you didn't make the right decision. You like, damn, really? That was a small thing. All right? But you gotta understand that the Lord is doing it to make you better. All right? Remember, the Lord's thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are higher than our ways. We're just children. When you have a child and you're the parent, they may not understand why you came down on them so hard for something so small because they don't understand the repercussions or the bad habits that can bring. All right? And the Lord loves us, so he doesn't want to see us going down going down bad habits. But it says, for whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. And that's what's going to allow us to walk, when all hell breaks loose, right? When that final test, which is the hour of temptation, happens, and this multiple choice questions. It's multiple choice answers. To everybody else, they torn between A, B, and C, where the answer is B. All right, because you've been studying, you've been chastised to know exactly, to pinpoint the answer. All right, well, as the scriptures tell us what? Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. All right, so let's jump over to Revelations 2, and we're going to end it there. Right? This is Revelations 2 and verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh, and keepeth my works unto the end, To him will I give power over the nations. Right? And this is, of course, the other nations, as well as our nation. All right? Because the elect shall rule in all aspects. Revelation chapter 2, verse 25. Except that you hold tightly to what you have until I come. To all who are victorious, who obey me to the very end, to them I will give authority over all, to give authority over all the nations. Salak, 1 second. I just want to get the definition of the word overcome. Which means to conquer, to conquer. Hey, that's essentially when you read what's that, Genesis 32. What did Jacob, which his name was changed to Israel. All right. He said, I will not let thee go until thou bless me. All right. So I bring that out to show you, like, the only way to overcome is to fight for it, to fight for that perfection, to not let go, until you be blessed. So I'll end it out there. Lord willing, you I can edify. Shalom to the elect.